Coming up, we'll go on a wild candy ride in the Pacific Classic. The exit of 2 Most Wanted opened the door for another horse in the Travers. We'll take a passing shot at the Personal Ensign and Skyjacks. Skyjacks, the track record in the Long Acres Mile. That's just the beginning on Long John Silver's Wire to Wire.
Long John Silver's Wire to Wire, presented by Citgo.
Glad you're with us on Long John Silver's Wire to Wire. Jeff Metters along with Randy Moss. So much history at Saratoga, and of course the centerpiece there is the Travers.
It was very clever. The 2 Most Wanted, Empire Maker and Funny Side, out, but in their absence, still a good field for the Midsummer Derby Saturday at Saratoga, mile and a quarter.
Just the first half of our Race of the Week coverage. Record crowd at Saratoga. Here's the call with Tom Durkin.
The stage is set with 3 furlongs to go here. Sky Mason couldn't keep up, and he's dropped 6 lengths from the lead. They're coming to the top of the stretch now, and 10 Most Wanted is charging hard, and the front runners here in between horses. Peace rolls and down toward the inside. Strong Hope, they're off the turn. They're into the stretch. 3 of them doing battle now. 10 Most Wanted and Peace rolls. They're head-to-head. Strong Hope couldn't keep up with them. There's 1 furlong to go, and 10 Most Wanted has taken the lead. Peace rules, fighting on gamely, but he's dropped the length and a half behind. Strong Hope comes home weakened, and they're down to the finish. And Pat Day, patiently, with 10 Most Wanted, comes off the pace to win by 5.
10 Most Wanted overtakes Peace Rules, wins by 4.5 for a long list of owners that includes a couple of ESPN executives. Wally DeLossie won the 1997 Travers with Deputy Commander. 10 Most Wanted sire. 10 Most Wanted has now won 3 of 9, 1.2 million. Pat Day, a record-tying 4th Travers Stakes.
One of the keys for 10 Most Wanted was the blinkers on, which helped him maintain his concentration. Also at the start, Sky Mesa breaks slowly, but he never really could get into the race. I mean, he was 3rd most of the way around after that, but then he backed up with a bruised foot. And you see once 10 Most Wanted made the lead, no goofing around this time with the blinkers. Very much focused. A good decision by Wally DeLossie and Pat Day to put those blinkers on 10 Most Wanted.
And working up there at Saratoga, you've had your hands full. You've been with Kenny Mayne every weekend.
On Saturday's telecast, Little League Baseball ran long, so you never got a chance to see Kenny Mayne's take. As usual, a funny take from Kenny Mayne on the marketing of Funny Side. Maybe some other guys getting in on the marketing action.
Long before the marketing of Funny Side, Jerry Bailey was taking to the track as a human billboard for a jeans maker. The Funny Side branding triggered a renewed effort from Bailey.
You know, I'm also wearing a patch on my socks. Huge socks promotion.
Jerry Bailey socks. The socks Jerry Bailey wears.
But no one can see the patch on your socks because you're wearing boots.
Yeah, I guess that's an issue, huh?
Jorge Chavez has reached his audience, but is yet to realize a profit.
I drink deep well water. It's refreshing. It's tasty.
Jorge, that's a public water fountain. It's free.
The revenue's flat.
Funny side, the whole world sees that you're right.
The Funny Side song inspired trainer Todd Fletcher to market his own music. The recording industry is competitive.
I'm a horse trainer. I train horses.
The entire Todd Fletcher spoken word collection can be yours for $99.95. With 4 easy installments, get hits like
Stickers and Mud, Stickers and Mud. Yeah, buddy.
Act now to receive this bonus single.
2101, that's too fast. Didn't like the track. Might have displaced his palate.
Todd Fletcher, spoken like a trainer. Buy now.
And jockey Aaron Greider has used late-night television to capitalize on his motivational speaking skills.
Come on, people, realize your dream. Maybe you don't want to make as much money as me. Fine. Am I just wasting my breath or what?
Kenny's been off his medication. Still to come, more from a huge weekend at Saratoga. Plus, we'll go international in final furlongs. And Gary Stephen was back at the track, not in uniform. An update on him later in the show.
This ESPN2 presentation of Long John Silver's Wire to Wire is brought to you by Long John Silver's new buckets of crunchy shrimp. Citgo, we know you. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
And away we go right into final furlongs. Pretty good weekend of racing there at Saratoga.
It's not very often we can start off final furlongs with 2 Grade 1 races, and that's what's going to happen. The Personal Ensign, first in line, run on Friday, 1.25 miles. Fillies and Mares. The 1-5 favorite on the rail, Wild Spirit. She saved ground, got a huge hole turning for home with Jerry Bailey, and it looked like the Bobby Frankel trained filly was on her way.
Passing shot with a final try. It's going to be close. Here's the wire. Too close to call.
The 11-1 passing shot came back to get her winning by a nose. Missland a third, Summer Colony a disappointing fourth. Owner Jerry Shields, trainer Alan Jerkins also teamed to win last week's Saratoga Breeders' Cup with Puzzlement. Passing shot ridden by Jose Santos. Jerkins won this race 41 years ago in 1962. Now he's back. On Saturday, the Travers Undercard, the 7-furlong Kings Bishop Stakes for sprinters for 3-year-olds. Valid Video behind horses swung out for the drive.
Posse has come from absolutely nowhere. And closing on the far outside, it's Ghost Sapper coming down to the line. Valid Video surges.
Valid Video ran down pace setter Great Notion. Ghost Sapper, a fast-closing third. Valid Video, the first Saratoga Stakes winner and the first Grade 1 winner for trainer Dennis Manning. Manning says he will train Valid Video now up to the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Valid Video's next start, buyer speed figure 107. For the fillies, this is Harmony Lodge in the Ballerina. Shine Again, trying to win her third straight, and she's closing on Harmony Lodge.
Harmony Lodge in front. Shine Again driving to her, coming down to the finish. Harmony Lodge holds on to him.
Harmony Lodge denying Shine Again her third straight Ballerina. Harmony Lodge trained by Todd Pletcher, who's having an unbelievable meet. Yet this filly went off at 12-1. Eugene Melnick and Laura Melnick, the owner, they of course raced Strong Hope in the Travers, who was burned up by the early pace, but they got back in the winner's circle on Sunday. Also for sprinters, this is the Rancho Bernardo handicap. These are fillies and mares, 6.5 furlongs on Saturday. And that Secret Liaison, who took the lead at the start and led all the way under Corey Nakatani. Secret Liaison, a 4-length winner over Lacey Girl and Spring Meadow, who finished third. The favorite C's Elegance was fourth. Madame Pietra finished sixth. Now to the mile division, the 4-star Dave at Saratoga. You know, Trademark had a perfect trip in the Bernard Baruch. Well, he got it again in this one, the 4-star Dave, to catch Quest Star at the wire under Richard Migliori. The South African bred Trademark, a 110 buyer in the Bernard Baruch, a 109 in the 4-star Dave. The fillies and mares in the Boston Spa Breeders' Cup Handicap, also on the Travers Undercard. That's the silks of the late Prince Ahmed bin Salman, winning with Stylish, a half-length. Trainer Bill Mott, jockey John Velasquez, her third straight stakes win. The 65 favorite Sea of Showers faded to last. And then the Del Mar Oaks Thoroughbred Corporation again.
Personal Legend and Cassis, 5 of them can win it. Coming for home, and it's still Desert finding more. Desert, Solar Echo. Desert holding on. Desert takes the Del Mar Oaks.
This time the Thoroughbred Corp does it with Desert on the Pacific Classic Undercard. Corey Nakatani, again, the jockey, the first stakes start for this 3-year-old filly, trained by Richard Mandela. What a pedigree. She's by Stormcat out of the stakes-winning mare, Wind Sharp. Her entry made Atlantic Ocean, finished 5th. Jose Santos had a really poor weekend in line. Of course, he lost the man on Funny Side, due to serve a 10-day suspension on Tuesday. But look at this. Funny Side out, but Jose Santos back in the winner's circle on 60 seconds in the Glens Falls handicap. That was his third stakes win of the weekend. Classic division, the Philip Island handicap at Monmouth Park. 10 pins. The Michigan bred gets the job done. For trainer Don Winfrey, since he has had 10 pins, that's 10 times crossing the finish first in 12 starts. One was lost to DQ, expected to run later in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Internationally now, the Ebor meeting at York last week. This is the Juddmonte International and Falbrov. Very impressive. The 5-year-old trained by Luca Kamani. The Breeders' Cup turf, a possibility. He'd have to be supplemented there at $180,000. Before then, though, he may run 2 Saturdays from now in the Irish Champion against Alamshar, High Chaparral, and Moon Ballad. Falbrov, a very nice horse. Also at York, this is the filly Islington. You remember her from last year's Breeders' Cup filly and mare turf. I thought she'd win it, but she didn't run that well. Back in against the fillies, Islington holding on to win the Yorkshire Oaks, but she is not expected to come back for the Breeders' Cup this year at Santa Anita. And then one of the fastest horses in the world in the Nunthorpe Stakes Thursday, Oasis Dream, a 2.5-length winner. He's been sprinting. He's owned by Khalid Abdullah of Juddmonte Farm. You recognize the colors, but trainer John Gosden says he won't run in the sprint. If he comes to the Breeders' Cup, he will run in the NetJets Breeders' Cup Mile.
All right, the game is on, but it's not too late to sign up. The ESPN Pick 6 Challenge presented by Digiturf.com. Virtual horse racing, 2 winners this week. All you got to do is pick 6 winners and win a cash prize. Go to ESPN.com, click on horse racing to sign up. Changing gears now and getting into speed. Lots of news in the MBNA America Challenge Championship Series. Spots are filling up for that November 1st finale at Los Al. And we start at Los Al. Finals of the Ford California Challenge Championship. Fillies and mares, 400 yards. The favorite, Magic and Rhythm, had trouble getting out of the gate, opening the door for Minnie Rock.
And away they go. Magic and Rhythm stumble badly. She's way back at last. BCR really cool in the twinkle of an eye. Minnie Rock in annual edition. J.D. Pesky's legging out badly all the way to the outside fence. J.D. Pesky's way out on the far outside. And now Minnie Rock's coming on gamely. So is annual edition in the twinkle of an eye. And even J.D. Pesky, despite losing all that ground's going to be right in the photo.
Minnie Rock takes advantage of a mistake-free race to advance in the $75,000 Ford Challenge Championship. The legend, Blaine Schwanevelt, is the trainer. 4-5 favorite, Magic and Rhythm, almost fell down at the start. J.D. Pesky was lucking out badly, but still almost won the race. Now to Prairie Meadows in the Ford Central Challenge Final. Lady Tenaya was the favorite. And just like the race that we just saw, she had some trouble at the start, while this Candy Special was almost perfect.
Racing! Clean start for She's a Cashy Chick. Toward the inside, first place Princess is coming on well. Baltimore Lou is there. Whole lot of dashes on the inside. This Candy Special. Baltimore Lou is running a good one. Baltimore Lou, this Candy Special. This Candy Special's going to do it.
This Candy Special joins Minnie Rock on that short list for the $75,000 Ford Challenge Championship. Baltimore Lou already won the Ford West Southwest Challenge, so she's in. This Candy Special is a 4-year-old daughter of Strawfly Special. Now to the boys. It's the MBNA America Central Challenge Championship, also at Prairie Meadows. One Rare Bug, last year's champion 3-year-old, was the favorite. The challenger would be Panther Mountain.
Racing! One Rare Bug jostled around somewhat at the start. Center of the track, Rulon Gardner has come away well. Panther Mountain is on the inside. Vertical Expression is running a good one. Royal Blue Choo Choo is coming on. Vertical Expression, Panther Mountain. Panther Mountain wins the MBNA Central Challenge.
Not a good weekend for the favorites in the Challenge Championship Series. One Rare Bug actually finishes third. Panther Mountain is conditioned by Janet Van Beber. He's a colt by Meter Me Gone out of a dash for Cash Mare. And finally, the Grade 3 John Deere Central Distance Challenge, 870 yards, around 1 turn. Royals, my boy, hope to break that favorite, Jinx, but he'd have to get past Finish Line Express.
The Finish Line Express has had a dream trip, and Finish Line Express will come to the final 220 yards with the lead. Check 'em High back on track and coming after the leader. Royals, my boy, who was pushed out in the middle of the track and do no better than third. It's Finish Line Express from Check 'em High.
Finish Line Express is a homebred for Walt Fletcher, who's currently on the AQHA's executive committee. Finish Line Express won this race last year and finished third at the Challenge Championship at Lone Star Park. Gets another shot on November 1st. When we come back, Chris Lincoln will take us to the track at Emerald Downs for the Long Acres Mile. And still ahead, the second half of our race of the week. It's a candy ride in the Pacific Classic. Long John Silver's Wire to Wire. Our Citgo leaderboard is Randy Moss's Dirty Dozen.
The top 12 for the Breeders' Cup Classic with the California Twist. The Classic's being run at Santa Anita. Candy Ride number 1, you'll see why soon. And because of Santa Anita, Medallia de Oro ranked ahead of Mine Shaft, although that's close. Good horses.
And for the entire Labor Day weekend, a chance to play the Breeders' Cup Future Bet Round 2.
4 races you can bet early on, including the Classic, where Mine Shaft is a slight favorite over Candy Ride. The Distaff with Azaria, clear 2-to-1 choice. The defending horse of the year. The Breeders' Cup Sprint's wide open. Shake You Down, a slight edge in the morning line. And in the Breeders' Cup Turf, Alamshar, the favorite. The field, actually, 8-to-1, and then High Chaparral and Storm.
This past weekend, Del Mar and Saratoga both had their biggest days of racing. That was also the case for Emerald Downs, just outside of Seattle, Washington. Chris Lincoln is at the track.
A beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest on this Sunday, their biggest day of racing here, the 6-gate running of the Long Acres Mile. And the day began with a lot of fun for the race fans here. They had the Railbird Rally.
Over 600 fans started the day at the rally, where for $5 they got their track admission, a program, barbecue, a drink, and an entry for prize drawings from T-shirts to wagering vouchers. A huge crowd on hand for a record Long Acres Mile day. Emerald Downs went over the $3 million wagering mark for the first time in its 8-year history, with a record number of simulcast outlets across North America taking their great $750 million race. Track president Ron Crockett couldn't have been more pleased.
It's a wonderful time for us. We planned the entire year based around this week, and we've had a very successful week, so it's correct. Very, very pleased.
And Emerald Downs has a big event for its state breds on September 21st.
For the first time, we've got a Washington Cup, which will be 7 races of Washington breds only, and we'll pass out a little over 400,000 that day.
The favorite in the mile was number 3, the Gray Skyjack, Grade 1 winner of last year's Hollywood Gold Cup, with the nation's leading winning jockey Russell Bays up. The field of 10 sent on their way in the 68th Long Acres Mile. As we pick up the call from track announcer Robert Geller.
Skyjack opens up 4. Skyjack well ahead. Into second spot down the outside, Lord Nelson and Poker Brad. But what an outstanding performance by Skyjack. Exuding class all the way, and a powerhouse win by Skyjack by 6.
Skyjack wins in a new track record mile time of 1:33 for Redmar Thoroughbred and becomes racing's newest millionaire. Jockey Russell Bays describes the trip.
I thought I had a little horse left. He kind of opened up and got to talk around a little bit with me, but I reached and busted him a couple of times, and he shifted into another gear, and I was pretty sure they were going to catch me, definitely.
Southern California-based trainer Doug O'Neill had earlier finished 3rd in the $1 Million Pacific Classic with Fleet Street Cancer, but he chose to be at Emerald Downs, and he told us why.
Skyjack has just been a horse that if I am on the map, he put me on it. So he's just kind of like a family horse. And, you know, I asked the Leathermans who own Fleet Street Dancer if it was okay if I came up here. And before I could finish the sentence, they said, of course, go up there. So we're just so happy to be here. And it's the first time he's ever shipped out of town, the horse, Skyjack. And I just wanted to be here in case anything went wrong, and everything went right.
As Skyjack's owner's colors are being painted in the paddock, the 7-year-old gelding earned $137,500 of the $250,000 mile purse, and that, added to the $120,000 third-place check in the Pacific Classic earlier, made this quite a day for the Doug O'Neill barn.
Not a bad day. This is definitely getting in the top 10 of my days in my life.
From Emerald Downs on Long Acres Mile Day, I'm Chris Lincoln for Wire to Wire at the track.
Thanks, Chris. Speed Part 1 was all about the MB&A Racing Series. Now we get into some trials at Sam Houston and preview the All-American Futurity. First on tap, the trial from the Sam Houston Futurity. The fastest qualifier is the 2-horse, Jack Z. Quick, who shipped in from Delta Downs to make his first start at Sam Houston, and he didn't waste it. He wins his trial by a half length. The second-place horse, I'm a Perry Girl, had the second fastest qualifying time, and Gift in Cash also made the finals. This year's Futurity worth $300,000. Out of the trials of the Sam Houston Derby, Prime Talent would dominate his trial. As you'll see here, nobody was close as he gets to the wire, winning by 2.5. The second and third place horses here also earn a spot in the top 10. Prime Talent also made the finals at the Retama Park Derby, but he came up sick before the final and had to be scratched. Trainer John Buchanan says he's gotten big, and he is fast. The All-American Futurity is all systems go on Labor Day, and the industry's richest race could be a showground for the industry's champion trainer. Paul Jones has proven that he can leave the friendly confines of Los Alamitos and win wherever he goes. He'll saddle 3, including the fastest qualifier, latest version. Talk about pressure. Latest version is co-owned by Ruidoso Downs owner Artie Hubbard. In the All-American Derby on Sunday, the ownership trio of Dutch Masters 3 will be back in the Ruidoso spotlight. Their horse, Meteoric, was the fastest qualifier for the Derby. Has to be Deja Vu. They were here last year with Meteoric in the All-American Futurity. He came into the race unbeaten, a perfect 6 for 6. He would finish 3rd. It could be better late than never for him on Sunday. For more information on how you can become a Racing American quarter horse owner, call 1-800-414-RIDE.
That was good.
Thank you. Still to come, the ride of your life. Candy Ride dominates in the Pacific Classic.
This ESPN2 presentation of Long John Silver's Wire to Wire is brought to you by Long John Silver's new buckets of crunchy shrimp. Citgo, we know you. NTRA.com. For official Seabiscuit merchandise, log on to NTRA.com. Equibase.com, your official online source for racing information, from entries to results and everything in between. Equibase.com is a service of Equibase Company, the thoroughbred industry's official database.
Talked about the huge weekend of racing we had last weekend. This weekend coming up is pretty big as well. Last week of racing at Saratoga, the racing goes on at Del Mar, and of course the holiday weekend. That even adds more spice to it. Of course, we'll have complete coverage of those races next week on Long John Silver's Wire to Wire. Holy cow, we're back at our regular time, Tuesdays at 2. For more, you can go to ESPN.com. Now, a couple of weeks ago at the Arlington Million, part of our Road to the World Thoroughbred Championship coverage, powered by Dodge. That's Gary Stevens on Storming Home, who shies at the wire, leaving Stevens nowhere to go but down. Turned out to be a nasty spill. He was lucky. A bruised shoulder, a collapsed lung. Spent some time in the hospital. He misses the mount on Candy Ride, had to pass the reins to Julie Crone, but he could be back this weekend.
I feel good. My whole body feels good. My chest hurts a little bit, a little pain in my back, and a little weak, but I can tell you I'm just glad to be standing here. When it was all happening the other day, it's as close to death as I've come. It's as close as I want to get.
And that leads us right into this year's running of the Pacific Classic. A lot of time horses don't live up to the hype, but that was not the case for Candy Ride.
We're about to show you why Candy Ride is ranked #1 now in the World Thoroughbred rankings and why he's at the top of my list for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Sunday at Del Mar, Candy Ride stalking the pace of rival Medaglia d'Oro. What a race.
With less than half a mile to go, Medaglia d'Oro goes on. Milwaukee Brew is coming with an early run, and Candy Ride in the white. Now Medaglia d'Oro and Candy Ride kick on. Milwaukee Brew couldn't go with them. Fleet Street Dancers last. They're approaching the quarter bowl, and here's the match race we've been waiting for. Medaglia d'Oro and Jerry Bailey. Candy Ride and Julie Crone are full of run, though. Julie Crone taps Candy Ride on the neck. He responds like a champion. Candy Ride takes the lead. Medaglia d'Oro's running his heart out, but we could be looking at a new superstar out here. Candy Ride, the Argentinian bred, and Julie Crone win the Pacific Classic.
3 for 3 in Argentina, now 3 for 3 in the United States. A new stakes and track record at 1.25 miles. Ron McAnally told the Craigs, Sim and Jenny Craig, the owner, back in January, they needed to buy this horse if they wanted to win the Pacific Classic, and that prediction comes true. Julie Crone, the first female rider now to win $1 million race in the United States, but he is not nominated for the Breeders' Cup.
Did you catch that buyer speed figure? 123. What that means basically is that Medaglia d'Oro, who might have been regarded as the best older horse in America going into this race, pretty much ran his A race, and Candy Ride simply blew his doors off. With Julie Crone subbing for Gary Stevens, an awesome effort. The newest Argentinian for trainer Ron McAnally, who brought over Bayacoa and Passiana. Candy Ride, a deserving early favorite now for the Breeders' Cup Classic, but he'll have to pay an $800,000 supplement, at least the Craigs will. Sid and Jenny Craig to get him into the Classic.
We leave you on a sad note. Tommy Sheridan was part of our ESPN family for many years. He ran camera for ESPN and NBC. He leaves behind a wife and 2 daughters. His brother also worked in the industry. Tommy passes away at the all-too-young age of 44. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.